Good morning, everybody. Hey, fellas, my treeple. I hope your days are going good. I'm gonna kind of try to switch up a little bit. Maybe not too much editing, no music, crap like that. But anyways, so I'm revisiting my 355T Echo chainsaw. I was gonna give some pros and some cons. A little bit of the history of my experiences and a little bit of the different saws I've ran in my years during this awesome tree ride I've had. Okay, I'll start with a little bit of my history. The very first saw top handle that I've ran was a 200T, and that's pretty much the best saw I've ran as far as weight to power ratio and everything like that. But then they started messing around with that perfection, so I had to find another thing and open my mind up a little bit. After the 200, I went to a 192T. Then I went to a 201T, which was, when it first came out, was such a dog. I hated it. I went to a 540 XP, and then I went to the 355 after I lost the 540. And anybody that watches my channel a lot knows that I run this 2511 a lot, but it's got a whole nother little set of issues that I'm not happy with. So we're gonna go back to this 355 for a little bit, or I'm just gonna add it back to my arsenal. I quit using this saw. I had a chain jump skip off and opened up a hole in my oiler. Nice little chain catch here. It's not stock. Okay. The pros and cons list on this thing. I got some pros and some cons. Trying to stick to my little script that I wrote out. Okay, pros for this saw. I think the number one thing that's a pro for this saw is the price. It's got to be the best bang for the buck in this size saw. You put out about $400 for this saw, and the steel equivalent is another $200, and probably a lot of shop time. This doesn't have any computers on the carburetor. It does have a computer in the coil, I do believe, but yeah. The second pro to this saw is reliability. Once you fire this thing up, and after the first choke cycle, after it pops off, it will start every time with the first pull. That's been my experience with this saw. And the other three that I've bought, let's see, the third pro is the power. It's got plenty of power, and if you make it a little bit noisier with muffler mod, and take off their little limiter caps in here and get a good tune on it, it's got plenty of power. Let's see, number 4, I already mentioned, no the computer is not computer controlled. That's a pro to me. Okay, number 5 is replacement parts are cheap for this. So if you lose something breaks, it's not very expensive to buy parts. And some of the cons, the plastic likes to fall off of these, just like this guy right here. This is always coming off, like to fall off of these saws. And on this 355, this likes to just come off while I'm running it, especially in a long cut, and that gets kind of irritating. This thing is a lot chunkier feeling than even the 201 TC. And they've got the outboard clutch design, and that if they would have used inboard clutch design, I'm pretty sure that this would be a lot skinnier on this side. And the starter on it is kind of fat to me. This thing seems kind of fat. You can get used to it though. And the last con I have wrote down is it's kind of choked down right out the box. Right off the rip, it's pretty choked down. But if you take these limiter caps off and do yourself a little fancy muffler mod, it straightens that right out. I think that's all I've got. Man, there's other stuff rolling around in my head, but oh, another con is the size of the oil and the gas caps. I think that Echo realized that when they put out this saw, and you can see a big difference in the size of the caps. It's not really a deal breaker though. It works just fine. I'm kind of trying to start a little discussion with you guys, and I've been posting up my videos on Tree Buzz and Old Master Blaster Home, the tree house. I hope you guys are having a great one. I appreciate you guys. Thanks much for everything. Have a great rest of y'all's day.